What's up, everybody? Well, Necro's here. Also, you can call me Andrew if you like. Um, well, I thought I'd show you guys a little bit of Path of Exile, since some of you guys may have been not too sure about the game itself, and
You have
you
passed
might want
enemy.
to reconsider, as it's actually a pretty decent game. It's a little bit different. Definitely plays just like Diablo in a sense. Has a little bit more customization, if you could say. Actually, a lot more customization. It's just overall more well put together game. Just offers much more freedom of choice, and yeah, just a much better game overall, my opinion. A lot of people could argue, but honestly, I thought Diablo was a little short as far as its content and customization. Apparently, I don't know if this is true. Apparently, they're going to add around 10 acts. That might be a purchase feature. You might have to buy that. But as far as I'm concerned, this is currently in beta, and they are not going to do any character wipes as long as they've. That's what they stated on the website. And yeah. Alright, enough of that. Well, basically now I'm just going to explain kind of the build I'm going with and what my future plan is. As you can see, show you a quick example here. Every class has different starting points. This is the range class, Shadow, Witch. I believe this is the Templar. Could be wrong. There are a few other classes that I'm not too sure of that I really haven't taken a look into, which wasn't really my feel for. I kind of always like to go more of the ranger or the caster. But basically, you start at the class point right here. As I am a ranger or archer, the game actually refers it to, and it just kind of moves along, all kind of catering to the actual projectile damage or attack speed. Definitely, attack speed is definitely a more beneficial feature to it. Definitely helps to be able to wail on something really fast and get away and not have to worry about taking my time with doing slow attacks. As you can see, moved into a little bit of movement speed. Always helps to move a little bit faster. I was originally considering bumping up to full attack speed on this tree, and I thought, my attacks are going relatively fast, and I would focus on that in a later date. But then instead, I'm actually taking the tree. I took it along this path, grab a little dexterity, and I grabbed some frenzy charge. And what frenzy charge is basically, it stacks. You started with a default of 3, and so obviously put it to 4, and every stack of frenzy that you get adds damage, and it also increases the attack speed. The attack right here you can see is obviously it's 5% increased attack speed for frenzy charge. Stacking up to 4 times would be 20%. I'm not sure if the actual damage increases, but I do know, it's quite a bit of damage that you're going to be shooting there. So that's definitely useful. It was definitely a right path to go. And also, of course, you want to be focusing on evasion, which it did there. It's nice to have that little boost. And next thing I'm going to be doing is taking the tree up here, grab a little bit of dexterity, and possibly a little bit of intellect, because some of the skills, as you can see, I'll show you here in a minute. Let's see if I can find one. If I can remember what it was. It's lightning. Okay, fire trap. As you can see, I can't really show you with the mouse, but it shows you I'm currently not able to level it because I do need intellect to actually level the ability. And fire trap, right now, it's not really showing too much of its worth, and it's definitely needing to upgrade. So within the next 2 levels here, I'll definitely be able to start to upgrade that. And yeah. Also, before I do begin the adventure, you can see these 2 gems here, they're kind of lining up to one another. You got the actual ability, which is right here, fire arrow, that fires an arrow that deals fire damage to its target. As you can see, the actual increased physical damage added as fire damage, 17% to ignite, the target, and a 20% increased burning damage. And then you have this, which is actually called a support gem, which then allowed the actual ability to travel through the enemy, going through multiple enemies, also having a chance to deal extra damage to those enemies, as well as ignite those targets as well. And yeah, and that's basically how the support system works. And I do believe that also works if you are a caster. You can then make your fireball cast through multiple targets, not just one, and have basically an as powerful AoE attack rather than like poison cloud, which would be shot and then damage. I'll show you. You have each one that tells you accordingly to the actual stats that they affect. And we have poison arrow, which does 204 damage per second. So basically it targets in the poison. It's going to be taking a lot of damage over time. And then you have my default shot, which basically is nice to dwindle them down when you have your fire shot, which obviously you can see here that it does not do much AoE damage. It's more of a support damage on top of the poison arrow, which I like to use. You also have obviously a lot of other abilities, like the actual burning arrow, which, as you can see, it's not quite giving to its actual standards, but it actually gives a little bit more detail of what it can actually cause. But I'm not going to go into too much detail. Well, I'll show you this one as well. And this originally does start with firing 3 arrows, but increasingly as you do level up the gem, which I didn't explain that part. This also caters to the actual, in order to progress the gem, you must earn that amount of XP, which obviously it's going to be a lot easier, and it also levels with you. So it's kind of a nice sense to actually level the ability as you're going, rather than just leveling your level. Then you have your quest system, which I have completed most of the quests in this area. Pretty much just have to deal with the shadow right now. I did open a vial, which did cause some shadow in the area, which I need to figure out exactly where to go. It's not telling me in that sense. I'm assuming it's probably going to be near the last boss in Act 2. But yeah, I will begin and show you a little bit of the gameplay, and hopefully you see what you like, and if not, oh well. Now, for some reason, it does take a little bit longer for me to load. I am running a pretty decent computer here, so maybe it's just something to do with the actual server itself. So we'll go ahead and find some enemies, show you a little bit of sense. And there's the poison arrow, which covers that cloud, which eventually you could literally light this whole area up, and anything running into it, you could just kind of make them carry around it. And yeah, just kind of kite him in it and doing a lot of damage, and it really works well when you're fighting a lot of enemies to just kind of dwindle them down as fast as possible. So it's definitely useful to combine a bunch of abilities. So right now I am waiting for my fire trap to go through, so it does take its time. And there was my lightning arrow, which does, I believe, hit up the 3 enemies. So actually it would hit up to additional 4 total, but it definitely helps. Right now I am fighting level 22 creatures, and I am level 18, so they are dying relatively fast. But right now I've kind of done more of the exploring aspect. I like to find a bunch of crafting materials, which I actually should have explained that, but I will do that in my next video. But we'll see if I have enough time here. I do want to do this in one video, just to give you guys an idea of combining abilities, and just to give you an idea of another thing. This is actually where the black vial was that released this dark power that I'm seeing in the area. And right now I'm leading myself to the next quest area to actually see if I can take out the remaining actual bandits in the area and see if I can get this done. But yeah, the game starts out really slow. It doesn't really give you anything, tell you how to do anything. You can obviously use the actual crowd to help you through it, but it doesn't really want to cater or exactly explain which path to go. It basically gives you a skill tree. You decide the actual type of weapon, from dual wielding to and Here we got an elite mob, which won't be that tough. And the mobs themselves do not drop anything significantly good. Not all the times, granted they will, but it's more of you have to do it quite frequently. Just like Diablo, it's not just going to give you the items. Of course, they had the auction system, and that was, of course, it was an alright system, but it really got to me when all of a sudden they started to do the real money auction house. And honestly, that's probably one of the most esque points of an actual game, is that completely defeats the actual purpose of the game. And it basically, hey, if you have $300, you can buy everything you would need, which is ridiculous. And I knew people that were making thousands of dollars off of it. Granted, I mean, it's nice to make money, but it should never be off of a game. And just to promote people, hey, you can work a full-time job just playing a game. And like, congratulations, making this guy get no skills in life. And I mean, yeah, I guess it's a nice idea, but it never really, personally, it never worked for me. And I honestly, that's probably what killed the PvP system, as well as people. It just, they made the skill so overpowered, and here they don't really make you a demigod. In Diablo, you pretty much had to become a demigod, and I can't even imagine if you actually went no PvP, how many people would actually just be one-shot by all of your abilities. So real quick here, I just give you an idea of the actual combat system here. And here in a moment, I will show you the I'll go back and show you real quick and show you the currency system. There I used 2 of my health potions, which not sure if that actually helps or if it's I just kind of doing oh crap type of moments, but we shall see here in a moment. I guess I'm not going to show you, but yeah, real quick, I'm just going to show you the crafting system and what kind of stuff you can expect for the actual currency, because this game does not use a gold system. It's strictly, you can use items to craft basically a white item, which should obviously be just a basic, doesn't have anything to it, and you can make it all the way to an epic item, and also give it property, take away properties, stuff like that. And improving the quality, obviously it's going to actually improve the actual stats. I'll show you real quick here. And the base damage of the, well, you have to disequip the actual item before you do that. I apologize about that. There's a 1% quality increase, which I do have plenty, so it won't hurt. And you can see it increases the invasion rating, and I believe all the other stats as well. Over time, I'm sure it does. But yeah, it pretty much improves the actual quality. It reinforces the action, gives you actual new magic properties to it, would take the blue stats, which are referred to as the magic properties of it, and then would switch it out to give you something if you weren't exactly liking what you saw. But this all kind of caters to my character and how exactly I wanted it, so I'm not going to really mess with that too much. But there's also other stuff, and this is where you basically start. You would use the orbital transmutation, and then you would then make a white item become a magic property, which I'll give you an example here. And it adds 4 to the armor. You can then use this to actually then change the actual magic properties of it. And I'm not really too far into the game to really tell you about the whole entire crafting system, but as far as I can see, it's definitely deep, and it actually does have some sort of esque, and that's, I can definitely see why they went along the routes of doing a crafting system currency rather than something that would just be with gold. I mean, it definitely adds a lot more depth, a more real life-esque to it before like money was ever invented and people relied on just trading resources. So yeah, it definitely helps.
What would you like?
And I think it's a great system. But right now, as you can see, the realm is about to restart. They're going to be I guess they're going to be down for about 2.5 hours to do some pretty decent maintenance. They're going to take away some of the disconnect problems and hopefully uptime the actual load time of the game, but it is still in beta. And I think Act 4 is going to be coming soon, but currently I'm on Act 2, so there's no rush for that. And
My mana is gone. That would only slow me down.